Hi everyone, Janie here, and today I want to show you how to make this cute little gift bag. It is just adorable. It's like a little purse, and it's perfect to put a little gift in, or you can even make a matching card, and the card fits right inside. So, I got the idea a while back from my friend Jen Evers. She did a video tutorial on the same kind of bag, only the big version of it. And this is really great, and I'll put a link below to her video so you can see how to make the bigger bag. But I wanted a smaller one, so it took me a while, but I figured out how to do it, and now I'm going to share that with you guys today. So let's head on over to my craft table. I'm going to show you how to make two different sizes. This bag is 4 inches, and this bag is 3 inches. But before I get started, I want to talk to you really quick about the different variations. As you notice, this one has shorter handles, this one has longer handles. This was made by cutting a 12-inch strip in half, so those are 6-inch handles. These are 8.5-inch handles. You can make them any size you want. So don't think that you have to have these little stubby handles on the big one or these long handles on the smaller one, because those choices are yours. And another variation is down here on the bottom of this one. Let me get it up closer so you can see. I used a punch around the edge. And so to make sure I had enough room for the punch, that is actually a 1-inch wide strip. But if you're not going to do the punch around the edge, then you can use a 1/2-inch strip. Or another variation, this is shimmer trim from Close to My Heart, and it comes in different colors, but it's adhesive backed, and you can use that in place of the strip that I'm going to have you cut out, because you're going to have to put adhesive on the back of this and put it on here. So in place of that, or even over it, you can add something like that. Also, you don't have to use printed paper, printed cardstock. You can use plain cardstock and decorate it any way that you want. So those are just a couple of variations, and I'm going to be right back to get started with the tutorial on the 3-inch one. The reason that I want to start off showing you how to make the 3-inch little purse gift bag is because you only need one sheet that is 8.5 by 11 inch to not only make this cute little purse, but also this cute little gift card holder. And of course you can stamp your sentiment over here. And this cute little gift card holder fits right in the bag. And after doing all of that, I had this one little piece of cardstock left over, and I'm pretty sure a use could be found for it, including maybe putting it on the front and stamping something really cute. So then you don't waste one single piece. And one of the cool things I liked about using this 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock is that I get, let me grab it really quick here to show you. I get things like this from Michael's, and I usually get them when they're on sale for $2 or $2.50 for a pack. And so it's really fun to work with because they are 8.5 by 11 and they already have, the designs on them. And some of them, for example, like this pink zebra print, the other side is pink. So I can do the exact same thing I did with this purse, because these lavender pieces are actually the back side of this. So I didn't have to use another piece of cardstock. But of course, if you wanted a different contrast, you could use another piece of cardstock to do that. But today, I'll be using this, and we'll go through each step And then afterwards, after we've got it all put together and you know how to make the small one, I'm just going to show you at the end the measurements for each thing you're going to need to make the 4-inch one, because the assembly instructions are identical, so you don't need me to show you that all over again. I'm going to be giving you the dimensions of each cut that you need to make, and if you're going to cut it all out of one piece of cardstock like I'm going to do, you need to pay close attention to how I'm making these cuts to make everything fit. But if you want to cut it out of 2 different pieces of cardstock, that's fine. Then you just need to pay attention to, the dimension of each piece. So we're going to start off with 8.5 by 11-inch piece of cardstock. I am going to put it in so that it's 8.5 inches across this way and the 11 inches down. And I'm going to cut off 2 half-inch strips. So I'm doing it this way because half inches are really hard to do, if I'm coming in from this direction. So I'm going to go up this direction and I'm going to go to 10.5. So that will be a half-inch. And then I'll move up to 10. And that will be another half-inch. Make sure I get it right on the line there. Okay. These 2 pieces will be used for the handles. Okay? So they are 8.5 inch by a half-inch. Put those aside and don't forget about them. All right. Now we have it 10 inches because it was 11. We have now cut off a total of 1 inch. So now we're going to turn it so that the 10 inches goes this direction. And we're going to cut 3 inches so that it'll be 10 inches by 3 inches. So let me get that lined up. Okay, this is going to be the body of the purse. So 10 inches by 3 inches, that's the body of the purse. Now I'm going to set that aside. And now we need to cut 2 more half-inch strips, but they're going to be a 1/2 inch by 10 inch because that's going to be the part that goes around the top and the bottom. Okay? So again, since half inches are hard to do, I'm going to take this, it's 5.5 inches already because it was 8.5 and we cut off 3. I'm very mathematical here. So we're going to take this to 5 inches. And there's 1 strip for around the top or the bottom. We're going to move it up to 4.5 inches. And we're cutting another strip. Now, I'll warn you, every time I do this, 1 strip is wider than the other, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but you probably do, so don't be laughing at me right now. So it's okay if that happens, but, a 1/2 inch is a good size. This one here actually works out to be 3/8, so it's just right under a 1/2 inch. But this is what you need to go around the top and the bottom. And I'm going to be turning it over and using the pink side. So I'm going to set this aside. And now we need the part for the bottom. And let's see, the bottom is going to be 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. So I'm going to turn it this direction. And I'm going to go to 2 1/2 inches. Okay, so 2 1/2, and now I need it to be 4 1/4. So 4 1/4, and cut it. Save this little strip because you're going to need it if you're going to be making that little gift card holder. Okay, so don't lose this. Set this aside as well. And now this is the bottom. It is 2.5 by 4 1/4. Okay, we're going to be scoring that in a minute. Don't lose this, okay? Now, we have this piece left, and we're going to get to that in a minute. Now we're going to take the bottom. This is going to be the base of the bag, and we are going to score it 1/2 inch. Not 1.5 inches, but 1/2 inch on each side. So there's 1/2 inch. I just turn it, and another 1/2 inch. Turn it, 1/2 inch, and turn it, and 1/2 inch. So it's been scored, and we're going to fold it on each of those score lines. Now for me, I want the design to be on the outside and the solid pink on the inside. That's why I'm folding it this direction. And so we've got that done. Let me move this and I'll be right back. The next step is, with this going the long way, we're going to cut in on that score line, just right there, creating a little tab. We're going to do the same thing on this end. Just cut in on that score line to there, creating another tab. Flip it over, and we're going to do the same thing on that side. And then, I know that you really want to try to put this together with those little tabs going on the inside, but we are not. We're going to put the little tabs on the outside. I've got some 1/2 inch Scrappy Tape here. And just cover the little tab on each one of these. Try to go fast here so that we're not dragging this out. It's easier to cut from the opposite side so you can see where it's at. Okay, we have all the corner tabs done, and now we're just going to peel off that outer layer. We're going to bring it around, see if I can get this to the outside, and attach it, just like that. So it's turning into a nice little box. Okay. And look at that. There's the bottom. Next, we're going to attach the strips to the top and the bottom, and I'm going to turn mine over and use the other side so that it's going to be pink on there. And I'm going to be using the 1/2 inch on the bottom because mine didn't cut properly. For my top one, I'm going to use 1/4 inch tape, but hopefully you did better than I did and you got them both a 1/2 inch. So, see if I can do this on camera for you here. I'm going to take my tape, put it on the outside here, and line it right up with the bottom. Just like that. And then it's easiest if you flip it over so you can see where you're cutting. And cut off the excess. Okay. And then, let me put that piece somewhere. Okay. And now I'm going to do the same thing across the top. Find the edge there. And actually I'm going to flip it around so I can see it a little bit better here. And just get it lined up right on the edge. Just like that. Okay. Flip this over. And cut that off. And we are ready to go. Get all these little scraps out of the way here. Okay. Make sure that it is pressed on really well. Then I'm just going to peel that off. Line it up right there with both edges. Bring it across and keep it lined up right with the edge. Trying to make sure I don't get off camera here. Okay, let's try this again. This is often hard for me to do on camera because I can't get my nose on it, which is where I like to put my nose when I'm crafting, is right on my project. Okay, there we go. Didn't mean to make that so complicated. And let's grab the other one here. And we're going to do the same thing. Let's see if I could do it easier this time, right? Okay, so right up against that edge. And keeping it right up against the edge. Bring it all the way down. So we have that done. You're probably going to have to, help it curve a little bit for this next part that we're going to do. So it doesn't hurt to go around the edges like this and just kind of soften it up so that it'll be ready to go around the base. So far this has been pretty easy, and now we're to the tricky part. So we're going to turn this over and we're going to put tape along the bottom, the double-sided tape. So again, just like on the front, keep it with the edges. Okay. And trim that off. And that. Okay. And then we're going to put tape along one edge. So let me get this up here. It's just going to go to right where that is. We don't want to overlap. Okay. So we're going to put it right on the edge. And get my arm out of your way. Cut that right off. I know, you said, well, that was easy. What in the world are you talking about? Well, that was the easy part. This next part, I'm hoping that my arm doesn't get in the way while I'm doing this, because if I try to wrap my arms around the camera, I'm not going to have the control that I need to do this. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to kind of walk you through it before I take the tape off, all right? First of all, I like to start in the middle of one of the ends. That way the seam isn't showing on the front of the purse. So let me give you an example. On this one, the seam is on the end so that you don't see it from the front and back. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to start there after we take that tape off, and we're just going to keep rolling this all the way around the box. And that's why I said it's really good if you kind of loosen this up so that it's not as stiff. Okay, and then we're going to save this piece for last. So let's get this off from here. All right, wish me luck trying to do this so that you can see it. going to start it right there in the middle at the end. And when we start it, make sure you press really hard, otherwise it tends to pop up when you're trying to bend around the corner. So get it on there really well, and then just walk it around. For me, it's easier to lay it down and kind of roll it down, making sure that we stay lined up, okay? Use your finger, press inside really good, really, really good, okay? Now we're going to roll it up again, roll it over, keep attaching it, and again, make sure that it is attached really good. And here we go again. And down. Get your fingers in there. And make sure that it is very well attached. You can't overdo it. Just don't underdo it. Okay, now we're to the end, and we have that last strip of our tape. So we're going to peel off the covering on that one. And if you thought what we did so far was tricky, at least I did, this part's even trickier, because not only do you have to, you know, match that up on the bottom, but you really need to match up right here on the sides. And it helps me. I don't totally crease this, but I just bend it a little bit so that I know where I'm matching things up. Okay, wish me luck, everybody. Here it goes. Okay, I've got the bottom lined up. I'm going to tell you right now, it covers about a 1/2 inch. Okay, just so you know, you're going to go in approximately a 1/2 inch on the top. All right, I think I did it. Whoa, okay, I got to get my fingers in here again, right in there. I have to make sure that everything is just pressed on there really well. And like I said, there is no such thing as overdoing it. You really need to, you know, make sure that everything is attached and stays attached. And this is the time to do it. Not an hour from now or a day from now when, you know, that double-sided tape is starting to, you know, maybe lose its stick from not being stuck really well. All right. So there we go. We're not done yet, though. We still have to add the handles. For my handles, I want the printed side to be on the outside, just like I did with this one. And, you know, you don't want your handles like this. So we're going to do a little trick where you can do this by scoring it if you would like. I'm just going to fold mine, but you're going to take it, the part that you don't want joined. So that's going to be on the bottom, the printed side. And I'm going to fold it in half. Can you see this? Let me re-angle myself here. We're going to fold it in half. Okay, see that? Fold it in half. You don't want to fold it in half the full length, but pretend that your handle is in thirds. So you're going to want 1/3 flat, 1/3 flat, middle third folded. Okay, and you don't have to be perfect, but do the best you can. Okay, let me do the same thing again. So I'm just folding it in half. This is really hard to get on camera without my arm getting in the way. But again, there's just a little bit of it right now. So it's folded in half in the middle, and you just want the middle third of it folded in half. And a bone folder comes in handy, and if you thought I brought a bone folder over here to this area with me, I did not. So once you have it folded, you're going to open it back up for a second. And you can use your, you know, little tape runner, an ATC, whatever you have. I have some 1/8 inch scrappy tape. So I'm just going to tear off a piece of that and stick it right here in the middle, but on the edge. I want it on the edge. See that? On the edge. That makes sure that the edges stick together. And just peel that off and fold it together. Okay? We'll do the same thing with this one. It's opened up. You can run your tape runner just along the folded part. Don't run it the full length. Just in that middle third is where you're going to either put your tape runner or your double-sided tape. Okay? And here I go again, putting it on the edge. Okay? So that when I pull it off and fold it, both of those outer edges will stick together. Okay, and now you're going to want to not bend it so you crease it, but similar to what we did for here, you know, just kind of smooth it into a rounded position so that it would make a really nice handle. Do the same thing with this one. Just be gentle, you know, like I said, you don't have to crease it, just kind of make it curve slightly so that it makes a really good handle. All right, so now we have our handles, and when they get attached, let me see if I can get this up here. The nice folded edge is what's facing the outside of the purse and the printed part of the handle. And I'm just going to attach them on the outside, just like that. So let me grab my 1/2-inch scrappy tape, wherever in the world I put it. And I'm just going to put about a 1/2 inch in. So it's like you have a little 1/2 inch square right there on the end of each handle. Okay. And I always make sure that it's on there really well. Sometimes it isn't. Okay. So I'm going to take one end, decide where I want to place it, and put it right on there. Just like that. Okay? And you're going to do the same thing with the other end of the handle. Going to bring it around and put it right where you want it. And there we go. We have a handle on one side. Okay? Was that easy or what? All right. So I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to do this off camera, come back with it put on there, and we're going to start making the gift card holder. All right. So you remember we had that one leftover piece? It happens to be 4.5 by 7.5. Well, we're going to put it in this direction, and we're going to cut off 1 inch. So we're going to make it 3.5 by 7.5. So just cut that right off. We are going to take this, stick it in, and we're going to cut this to 3.5. And we're going to set that aside. And we're going to set this one aside. All right. And actually, before we set this one aside, we're going to cut it to 2 inches. All right. So we have all of these pieces. And now we're going to do a little scoring. Whoops, throwing things around. All right, so this one is 3.5 inches by 7.5. We're going to score it in half and half of 7 1/2 is 3 3/4. So we're going to score it at 3 3/4. Fold it in half. There's a nice little card. We are going to take this 1-inch piece and I'm going to turn it the other direction. And we're going to score it at 1 inch. So it was 2 inches. We've scored that in the middle at 1 inch. And I'm going to fold that the other direction. And let me get this out of the way and I'll be right back. Well, guess who made a mistake that she can't fix? Me. Because without thinking, I said 3 1/2 and it's 3 3/4. Just like we scored this at 3 3/4. This piece should have been 3 3/4. But I am going to get creative here with it. So instead of putting adhesive on 3 sides, because I would have had to put it down each side and across the bottom, I'm actually only going to put it across the bottom and up one side, leaving the other side open. So, but when you do yours and you are smart and you cut it at 3 3/4 like it's supposed to, you can put adhesive on all 3 sides if you have something like my 1/8 inch scrappy tape. If you don't have something that's this skinny, then go ahead and leave one end open like I'm going to do and just put it on 3 edges. So you'll be putting it on the edge that attaches here and along the bottom and leave this inner edge open. Okay? Sorry for my mistake, but I guess it's one way to teach you how to be creative. Teach you how to fix a boo-boo, which is exactly what I'm going to try to do right now. Okay, got that, and now I'll put some on this edge, and I'll show you here as soon as I have it done. All right, so look at that little piece sticking up there. Okay, so that's how I have the tape on, so it's going to go like that. And we'll just peel off the outer layer of both of those. Maybe. Can I make any more mistakes? Seriously? No, I'm going to make sure I put it on the bottom too. Okay, line it up with the outer corner and bring it across. Let me pull the gift card out of here so we can make sure that this works. And with it open on that one side, it actually makes it a little easier to go in. So your gift card is in there. And over here, you can, stamp a message or write a sentiment, write a message, whatever it is you want to do. So we have that part of it done. And now we're going to take this part. And that is why I turned it the other way, because I actually wanted it to show. So you could do it with printed side against printed side. But there we go. That's what I'm going to do for this one. And I'm going to take my scrappy tape again. Put it on the inside here. I'm going to need 2 rows of it because this is wider. So putting 2 rows on here. There we go. Okay. To attach this, take the front of your card. And so this is the front of your card. Place this where you want it before you put the sticky side down, keeping the scored line right about the top of the card. And then when you get it where you want it, fold it over, and now the back will stick. Okay, but wait a minute, there's nothing to hold this down. Well, you remember that little tiny piece from the beginning that I told you to save? That's where this comes in. So I'm going to take, where did it go? Sure, there it is. Okay, I'm going to take my 1/8 inch scrappy tape, and I'm going to put a little bit on each end of this. Okay, so we're leaving the middle empty because obviously it has to go over that. So let's see here. All right, with the flap down, hold the flap down and get the scrappy tape off your arm. Okay, holding the flap down, line it up so that, let me see if I'll do it upside down for you, so that it meets right at the edge. Okay, you don't want it like way up here. It'll make it difficult to get that flap in and out. So you want it to be right there on the edge. So lining it up and making sure that you have the other edges where you want them. You just press it down and there you go. That's what's going to hold your little flap closed. So you used all the pieces except for one little piece, which you could flip over and write something on that and stick it on the front, and you will have used every single piece of an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of cardstock. Is that amazing or what? Now you've reached the point where you add the bling and the ribbon and embellishments and whatever you want to personalize this. And something I kind of wanted to throw in there, and to be honest with you, I haven't tried it yet, but I think I'm going to. You might want to try using ribbon. The handles won't stand up like this, but little ribbon handles might look really cute. You know, you could tie a little knot in it and stick them on there. So just food for thought. Now, next I'm going to show you what you need to cut out to make the larger size. Well, it's not larger, but it's 4 inches, so it's bigger than the 3 inches. But I'm not going to walk you through putting it together because it goes together the exact same way. And if you need to replay this to follow the directions again, you just do that. Okay, so I'll be right back with the other one. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I would love to hear your comments and thoughts on it. And if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and share with your friends. It would be really appreciated. Also, if you aren't already one of my subbies, I would love it if you were. Thank you all so much and happy crafting. Bye-bye.